for all your UK immigration matters. I hope to see you there. Thank you.
Hi, how's everyone? Abana, what's wrong with Abana? Anyway, so hello everybody, welcome to the show. Obviously you guys know this is the birthday special, so we're having a party today. So I've invited some of my girls to come and help us talk about our basically about health and safety.
So hello everybody, welcome to the show.
There's a
obviously
technical
you guys know
problem.
This is the birthday special, so we're having a party today. So I've invited some of my girls to come and help us talk about our
Abana, are you okay? Maybe sign out and sign back in, I'm not sure. But since Abana is having some technical hitches, I'm just going to start off by saying thank you all for coming here on time to come and listen to the show. We really appreciate everybody who joins us every day. Shout out to OT Media, who's basically helping us host this, and all our faithful watchers. I see some of you here, some of our faithful watchers who come every week. So if you always join us, thank you for coming back. And if this is your first time with us, thank you for being here. My name is Dr. Akos, and my co-host is Abina, but she's having some technical difficulties, so she will be with us soon. Today we're going to talk about safety and maternal health. So we're going to have two special guests with us, and these two girls have been a bit of history here. So we went to the same secondary school. You won't believe it. Secondary school. So this is basically from the age of I don't even know. How young are you when you're saying this is like what? 11, yeah. So I'm 30 now, so you can understand how long I've known these girls for. Shirley's a doctor. She's currently on call, so she'll join us a little bit later on throughout the show. But we've got Lois here, and it's Lois Afriyie. And I'm sorry I made a mistake on your name, but it's not Lois Afriyie, it's Lois Afriyie. And she's a midwife, and she's been a midwife for a very long time as well. So she's a senior midwife. So she's going to help us navigate the health and safeties of in maternity, basically. Abana, are you okay now?
Yes, I'm fine. Sorry, everyone. I had a bit of a hitch-up, but it's all good now. So, hi, everyone.
Yeah, I was just saying. So let's introduce ourselves for people who it might be their first time here. So I'm Dr. Akos, and
I'm Abina,
and together we're known as the Oasis Sisters or Oasis. So thank you for coming onto the show. Yeah, Abina, do you want to introduce Lois? And I was just given a history of how we know each other from Whitefield times.
Oh, yeah, Lois is a good friend. We went to the same secondary school, and we've been friends since, and we all pursued our dreams. And here she is as a midwife. So today we will be talking about health and safety in childbirth. So basically maternal mortality. And I have a few statistics here, which is quite quite interesting, literally from the World Health Organization, which states that in 2020, about 800 women died from preventable causes of pregnancy, and literally a maternal death happened every 2 minutes in 2020. And almost 95% of maternal deaths occurred in low or middle income sort of countries. And flip it to the UK, and maternal mortality in Black women is almost 3 times higher than other races. So it's a pretty big topic. And we've got Lois here, who is well versed in that area, to speak to us about health and safety in childbirth. So Lois, if you could just introduce yourself and get with it.
Hi guys, I think you've pretty much said what I was going to say. But as Abna was saying, Black people were literally 4 times more likely to die than our other counterparts. So like she said, it is a really big topic, and childbirth you would think in this day and age people wouldn't be dying, but unfortunately people still die in childbirth. So yeah, it is it's an issue that needs to be addressed. And I think now a lot of emphasis, and it's been highlighted a lot in the media, so we're definitely more aware of it now, and the numbers have dropped, because previously we were 7 times before, but that's come down now. So yeah, it's definitely an issue. How do I start? What I was gonna say was the main ones that people are dying from is mainly preeclampsia. So this is a condition that you get in pregnancy, of course, and it raises your blood pressure. So the first symptoms that women tend to get is maybe a bit of epigastric pain, just about here, a little bit of nausea, their face gets a little bit puffy, their hands and feet will get a bit puffy. Those are the first few signs that preeclampsia is kind of setting in. And then the last kind of thing we'll notice is the blood pressure going up. I can say most of the time when I see a Black woman coming in into the antenatal ward, usually the main ones that women are coming in with is blood pressure issues, and because of their diabetes. So with the blood pressure, again, if you do have these little symptoms here and there, especially your partner will probably notice it first, or your children will notice it first, that you've gone from maybe that slim face to all of a sudden your face is really puffy, or your hands and feet are a little bit puffy. It's only treated, or it only goes away once you've had babies. So there's nothing you can do about it until your placenta is delivered, because it's a condition of the placenta. So once you've delivered your placenta, it does generally tend to go away. But definitely when you are pregnant, if you don't have a blood pressure machine at home, it is definitely something that you should look into if you don't have one already. Then again, like I was saying, with the gestational diabetes, the moment you're pregnant, if you have a high BMI, being Black already from an African or Caribbean background, you're going to have what we call your GTT, so your glucose monitoring test, which is done early on in the pregnancy. If what happens is you have they make you fast, so you don't have anything to drink, you don't have anything to eat the night before, then you have a drink, wait 2 hours, and after the 2 hours they take your blood and they see if you do have gestational diabetes. Again, I can say for us Ghanaians, we love our carbs. Carbs is definitely something, the rice, the jollof rice, the fried rice, the wache, the banku, all of that, it's very high in carbs. So it's not the fact that you're having a lot of sugar per se, but carbs is definitely something that our intake is a lot of. So if you do end up pregnant, or if you are pregnant and you're early on in the pregnancy, just keep in mind that you are someone that is going to end up having your diabetes monitored, and so just keep an eye on your diet when you are pregnant, because that's still playing a big factor as well. Mental health, it is still something that women are dying from. People are still dying during pregnancy and after pregnancy, especially from their mental health. So if you are noticing that early on in pregnancy or during your pregnancy, you're feeling low in mood and you have little interest of doing anything, there's a reason why your midwife is asking you those questions when you go to your antenatal appointments, is because we want to make sure that you're still feeling like yourself, because unfortunately when you are pregnant, your hormones are all over the place, so you can feel very low in mood. And if that is the case, please do speak to your midwife, because there are things in place to help with that. Don't feel like you need to suffer on your own, because there are things in place, and they will, if they feel like they need to have you have enhanced visits and have a little bit more input from the midwives after you've had your baby, they will have more input and they will see you more if they feel like they need to. I think when it comes to us women, we tend, I can say for Black women, when I see them on the ward or antenatally, I think we are a little bit more laid back than our counterparts. So if a woman hasn't felt her baby move in a few hours, we tend to be like, oh, it's fine, drink some water, I'll drink some water, I'll go for a walk, and it will be fine. We tend to think it's just going to be fine. But if you do find that you're not feeling little one move, it only takes 30 minutes. Putting you on the monitor for 30 minutes isn't going to take anything out of my day. I'm there for 12 hours. So if I have to do it, it's my job. We don't have a problem doing it. So please, if you do feel that the movements are not as they are, go in and see your midwife. It doesn't take long. Yeah. I think those are the main ones, really. Those are the ones that I can say that I find there's a pattern of we're too late. We are way too laid back when it comes to certain things. Finally, I think this is the last one. If the moment you find out you are pregnant, look into your background, your family background. I think we don't know enough about our family history, and that is definitely something that plays an important part, because when you go to your booking appointments with your midwife, they will ask you questions about what happened to your grandma. Did your grandma have any health conditions? Did your dad have any health conditions? Your cousins, your aunties, all these questions are asked. And if you don't know, then we can't help you either. There's a difference between someone coming in who, a low-risk woman that comes in and says that she's short of breath, compared to someone who has a family history of maybe their grandma having a heart condition and saying that they're short of breath. Because if that woman came in who's got a family history and said that, oh, I'm short of breath, and she's got a family history of a heart condition, we're going to look into it more than someone who's low risk, because there's no reason for us to look into it. But if you don't know, how are we going to help you as well? So definitely, the moment you find out, if you don't know, ask your mom, ask your dad, ask the aunties, what issues or what conditions do you have? Because it's definitely important that we know, so that we can help if we notice anything that comes up as well.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's actually really good. As you were talking, I was sort of thinking about my own experience in my head about, obviously, like you said, even coming from a doctor, and this is what I wanted Shirley to talk about, as she's a doctor herself, but obviously she's a mother as well. And I just want the perspective of a doctor, because I don't want to be biased, because obviously I've been through it as well, but the perspective of a doctor going through the whole childbirth process. And I think you're very right in a way that I think I was very, very laid back. I think even you know this, because
I know this.
Because I would have moments where, like, I'll say to Lois, oh, I don't know, I'll be like, oh yeah, I can't remember what it was, but there were times that I would say to you, or Lois will ask me, oh, how's it going? And I'll be like, oh, maybe I haven't felt maybe move in a couple hours. And she'll be like, why are you still at home? And I'll be like, oh. And that's me, me being a doctor. Even still, I think maybe for I don't know what it is with Africans. We just seem to have maybe you just laid back,
chilled attitude. Whereas, sorry to say, a Caucasian and Asian lady will she's coming in. I have people who come in twice in a week, 3 times in a week because of it. Meanwhile, we're not coming in.
I remember the one of them. I think my temperature was 39 degrees. Yeah, that was it. And I remember Lois being like, the next day I was like, oh yeah, I've just taken paracetamol. And Lois was like, you're still at home. And she was like, you're not going to go to the hospital. And I was like, and again, this is where the me being a doctor comes in. I was like, oh, I'll just manage it. Lois was like, girl, get your backside up.
I mean, doctors are the worst patients, and
That's true.
I think I think it cuts across all health problems. Like Black people just don't like to go and get treatment. I can count the number of times I see my GP in a year, 0. Because I just can't be bothered to go around. Every little thing we like, it's gonna go away, and then it gets worse. So I don't know if it's a cultural thing, but it's very it's interesting.
Okay, well, I'm gonna take my shout outs first before we go on a break and then come back, of course. So I can see people wishing me happy birthday. So thank you, MB, for I have seen your happy birthday wish. OT Media has given me such a lovely message. Thank you guys so much. Absolutely love you. And then Auntie Liz, it was your birthday as well on the 4th of May. So I wished her happy birthday, but just saying we're celebrating with her as well. It's her birthday too. So happy birthday, Liz. And yeah, no, I think that's it.
Thank you, my dog. Happy birthday, girl.
Thanks. Yeah, so before we take the questions, obviously we usually go on a commercial break, but just a disclaimer before we do that, remember that as much as we're talking about childbirth and health and safety during the maternal period, remember this is also the general health talk show, and that's the reason why we're here. So if you have any questions at all, if you went to see your GP this week and you heard some news that you didn't really understand, or if you were reading online and saw some news and you just want some clarity from a medical perspective, this is where the medical professionals are. So please do ask any and every question. No question is stupid.
Absolutely.
So yeah, I think we'll take a break now and we'll come back with questions for Lois.
Buy an interest-free home and pay within 36 months. Yes, Daimler Homes' new gold standard development, Hilton Court, has just commenced, and you can own a unit now and pay within 36 months without any interest. Starting at 95,000, you can own an elegant apartment, and guess what? Discounts are available from now till end of May. To learn more, visit our website at daimlerhomesgh.com or call us on 0200 584 558. Daimler Homes, the elegance of living.
Hello and welcome back. Sorry. Hello and welcome back.
Yeah, so welcome back. So I think now if we've got any questions, we will take the questions. Abna, have you got any on your side? We've got somebody from YouTube, but I don't know if you've got any.
I'm monitoring the chats. I can't see anything on YouTube. Apologies if there's a problem. I think there's a problem with my stuff today, but there's we've got hands up in the over here in the studio. We've got Liz. Liz, please go ahead.
Well, you can tell us late because I've said Wednesday is the church service time, so I just have to excuse myself and come early. But I was asked by a friend to ask this question. Doc, the question goes for you. That when she's up in the morning, the belly is as flat as it can be. As soon as she eats tiny something little, then it increases by 2 or 3 inches. What's the problem here?
It could be a number of reasons, but the most thing I can think about is if you think about, I think it wasn't on this show, I was talking about on another show about basically your belly is like a stretchy band. So whenever you eat, or even if you just drink water, if you notice that if you've ever like drunk 1 liter of water, you will notice that your belly comes out a bit, and that's because it's distended. So anytime that you eat, if you haven't eaten, and even if you realize whenever you've eaten and you're really full, you get what I call the pregnant food belly, because your belly has to expand to make room for the food. So I guess that's just what's happening. Without food, your belly is flat, but with food, you get a bit of. But again, when the food digests, or when you give it a few hours, it should go back to what it was before. So yeah, there's nothing wrong with it.
So is that an age thing, or is normal because the person doesn't realize when she was a bit younger it was like that until just recently? That's why she's a bit bothered.
Unless she's getting pain with it. But if she's not getting pain, then I wouldn't worry.
Pain.
Yeah. Because I think when you're younger, sometimes you don't recognize things. It's not an age thing. It happens in every age. Even with my son, I see if you give him like a bottle of milk, his belly will literally pop out. It happens in every age. Maybe she's just not realized it, but it's been happening.
Okay, I think now, it's not fashionable. That's why she thinks that she dresses up and then the belly is...
Yeah,
okay,
exactly.
thank you very much.
No problem at all. Josephine, my own sister-in-law, thank you so much for joining the show, and thank you for your happy birthday wish. Did you get the question from
Yeah,
YouTube?
I've got the questions on YouTube. So this will go for Lois, midwife. Is there such a thing as placenta health? And is there anything you can take to prevent eclampsia? Eclampsia, is it?
Yeah, preeclampsia. Unfortunately, there's nothing you can do to prevent preeclampsia. It's just something that occurs. As I was saying, it's we used to say, or we say, it's the disease of the placenta. So it's caused by the placenta. So once the placenta is out, then it will pretty much go away. But how it's managed is with blood pressure tablets, or if it's not affecting your blood pressure, then you don't do anything about it. We just monitor your bloods and make sure that your bloods are all okay. And if they are, then we just wait for your placenta to come out. So yeah, there's nothing you can do about it, essentially.
Okay, that's cool. And a follow-up question, is there a reason why there's a higher mortality rate in Black women per se as compared to other races?
I think there's a number of things that play into that. Like I was saying, it's a thing where we know that there's institutional racism. So it's a thing where we're coming in and we're not being listened to, or they feel that we're being dramatic or we're aggressive when we come in, so they don't want to deal with us. There's a number of things, and I feel like the NHS, they are looking into it more. So there's changes occurring. They try and hire more ethnic minorities in higher fields, so that women will feel more comfortable when talking to, when they see someone who looks like them, basically, they feel more comfortable talking to them. They've got diversity and equality midwives, so they are trying definitely to look into it. But like I was saying, it is essentially, it comes down to racism, unfortunately, and institutional racism. That is the reason why. And like I was saying, we have more, unfortunately, a few more health conditions than other women do. So we're a little bit more unhealthy. Our BMI is higher. So with a raised BMI comes more conditions. So you're going to have high blood pressure. So you might already have a high blood pressure before you're even pregnant. So you're being treated for that. You might already have diabetes, so you're being treated for that as well as being pregnant. So there's risk factors as well that play into it. So if you're already unhealthy and you're adding pregnancy onto that, you can see.
So would you say that, wait, just sorry, would you say that for ourselves as Black women specifically, we can living a healthier lifestyle, eating healthier even before pregnancy can sort of like help with these problems
Yeah,
to
definitely. I mean, if your BMI is over 30 and you know that your BMI, for example, is over 30 and you're looking to get pregnant, bringing that BMI down is going to be one less risk factor added on. Um, if you already know, like I was saying with your, if you know that your BMI, and again, BMI is high, you're more likely to have diabetes. So look into those things. Check your blood pressure. If I can say for, I don't know about you, but if you're not going to the GP, when's the last time the ordinary person is checking their blood pressure? Before you know it, you're having your blood pressure checked at your midwife appointment and you see that your blood pressure is high. Like I said, it's worth having a blood pressure monitor at home just to see if you do or you do not have a um high blood pressure. It's those little things there. So it's important to look after your health period before you even fall pregnant, definitely.
I think another thing as well we need to consider is you talked about coming from a low socioeconomic background, and the sad truth of it is that a lot of the time it seems like Black communities are the ones who have, and not just Black, but BAME communities generally, tends to be, so a lot more in the lesser socioeconomic areas. So if you're thinking about people like that, again, generalizing here, but if you fall within that group, you're more likely to be working more than two jobs, which means that's increasing your stress levels, which means it's increasing, you talked about maternity and mental health. Obviously, mental health plays a role in it. And then when you're working in a very high stress jobs, you're doing several jobs, you're not taking care of yourself. So you're probably not exercising, probably not eating well. So all
Wow.
things tie into it, and it's a shame. But if we think about it, like we say, obviously that's why we're trying to change that rhetoric and trying to get more education, because some people don't even, they get sick and they don't even have the time to go to the doctor because they feel like, if I take time off work, I'm not going to get paid. If I don't get paid, I'm not going to be able to pay my rent. It's not their fault. It's just the situation in which they are, and it just makes things really difficult. So I guess these are some of the factors that affect us as Black people.
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
Oh, nice, interesting. We've got another question in the chat. How long can one wait to give birth again after C-section?
So we tend to say, oh, you'll hear after you've had baby, wait 18 months. So not 18 months to deliver baby. It's 18 months and then think about falling pregnant, because there's so much that happens to the body. It is major abdominal surgery, and we're cutting through layers of muscle, layers of skin, and even your uterus is being cut.
Fucking nigger. Shut the fuck up, nigger. Nigger. Shut the fuck up, you stupid nigger. You dumbass fucking niggers. Nigger. You bitch ass niggers.
I was so fucking pissed when I went to the
I hate niggers, but niggers, I don't like niggers. Boy, at least I'm street, was amazing
What the Sigma?
Apologies. We have taken them off so we can continue.
Yeah, I would like to say sorry for that. That interruption. We need some time to set ourselves up. Apologies for that. That was very.
Yeah, no, sorry. I'm sorry about that, guys. There were quite a few of them, so we're trying to remove all of them. There's another one here, but we're trying to just take it off. And I don't know what's happening and how people are hacking into the system, but we really apologize for that. So, okay, where were we? Let's ignore that, please, and let's just get to the important facts of it. Where were we?
We're talking about a C-section. I think Lois. Yeah.
Okay, how long it takes to be together? Yeah. Once again, we're really sorry about that. That was really inappropriate. Sorry.
Okay, we've got hands up. Lois, were you done with that question, or do we?
No, I was just saying, yeah, you're cutting through loads of layer of muscle and even the uterus. So like anything, it needs time to heal. And if you end up falling pregnant quite quickly after a section, those layers essentially haven't completely healed, which causes
Lois, please unmute yourself.
Hello?
Yeah, go on. Sorry. Go on.
Yeah, which then causes its own risk factors. So if it hasn't completely healed and then you fall pregnant, the uterus can then attach to your bladder, which if it's cut during surgery again, it can cause damage to your bladder. It can cause a uterine rupture. So that's when the uterus, it can cause a uterine rupture. There's loads of risk factors that come with having falling pregnant soon after having a section. So please wait the 18 months, as they say, if you can.
Great. Yep. So that's fine. I think we've got two people with their hands up. I'm going to ask go on. Sorry.
So I think what we're going to do is we're not going to allow anyone to speak for today because we've got a few hackers in the system and we don't know who we can allow to unmute or not. I think for now we will take questions in the form of putting it in the chat. So if you just please put your questions in the chat and then we'll have Lois or our host answer them. So on YouTube, on Facebook, we'll pick the questions up and then that's how we'll answer the questions for today. Apologies for that.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea. So whilst you wait for that, I've got another question here, which says basically this was an issue that came up in our last talk, and it's saying Black people basically cannot, Black people really do not know their family history. So can you, if you don't know family history, can you just lie about, because if you don't know it, can you just lie so that you're going to be high risk anyway? So can you just lie about it?
I wouldn't say lie, because that alone, if you're telling them things that aren't necessarily true, what will happen is you end up being put in the high risk category, which means, let's say if you were looking to go to the birth center, for example, then you wouldn't be able to go there because you've told them a number of things that wouldn't fit the criteria for going on the birth center, or it would mean that you're having to have loads more scans and a lot more appointments. So you'll end up seeing the consultant as well as the midwife. So I would say, no, please don't lie. I would say more, just try and find out as much as you can, essentially. So once you've got your notes and they've asked you the questions, if you didn't know a question, you can always tell the midwife later on that, oh, I've looked into it and I just found out that X, Y, and Z has this and that, and then they can note it down and change things. It's not set in stone. So if you do find things out, just let them know as you go along.
Okay. And in terms of from my own experience, actually, so I'm going to use the glucose tolerance test, which is the GTT you talked about. So that's basically the test which finds out if you're like about gestational diabetes, right? You guys don't tell us enough about that test. Because I really did not have a good time doing that test. Can you talk through it a bit more for us in terms of like what happens through the test so that people know what to expect?
Right. So you have to fast. So you fast the day before and just before the appointment as well. So no eating, no drinking. They take your blood before you have this orange drink. You have this drink, you wait 2 hours, and then after the 2 hours, they take your bloods again. So it's a long time not eating. So if you're going to have the test done, try and have it done in the morning so you don't have to spend the whole day not eating. And then in about a few days after the test is done, they'll let you know your results, whether you have gestational diabetes or you don't. If you do find that you end up having gestational diabetes, you're seen by the diabetic midwife, and they'll talk to you about how to check your blood sugars. So the blood sugars are usually checked before you eat in the morning, an hour after you've eaten breakfast, and then an hour after you've had your dinner, and an hour after your lunch, and an hour after your dinner. And the monitor that it's tested on, your diabetic midwife, she can see all of it as you're doing it. So if she notices or you notice that you have a high reading, they'll contact you or you contact them. And then as your pregnancy goes along, you're seen by a consultant, the doctors, and you're seen by the diabetic midwife as well as your community midwife as well.
Yeah, that's cool. So in terms of diabetes and gestational diabetes, is there a particular difference? Again, this is a question I'm being asked. So, is there
a difference? So diabetes, so there's two types, as AK will probably tell you. There's type 1 diabetes and then there's type 2 diabetes. Type 2 is usually a little bit later on, excuse me if I'm wrong, but a little bit later on in life. So it's usually happens as you get older. And then type 1 is usually a little bit more, you find that out when you're younger and you kind of grow and you grow with having diabetes. Gestational diabetes is diabetes in pregnancy, so it only happens when you're pregnant. Once you're pregnant, it does tend to go away. So you'll have a random sugar done when you're still in hospital, and then 6 to 8 weeks later with your GP, your bloods are checked again. But with gestational diabetes, you are 50% more likely to have type 2 diabetes if you've had gestational diabetes. So it's not a thing. So if you do find out that you have gestational diabetes, don't just think, oh, I only had it in pregnancy, so that's it. Try and maintain that the lifestyle or the diet you had when you were pregnant, just to help you later on in life.
Did you get that? Abana, I don't know. Are you able to unmute yourself? What's going on? Okay, can somebody unmute Abana, please? Yeah. Okay, in the meantime, I have a slightly question about maternal and baby blues in terms of depression. Somebody's asking about basically they've heard so much about baby blues, but they're not sure what it means. Can you explain it a little bit further?
So with the baby blues, it tends to happen after you've had babies, so in the postnatal period. But it's because your hormones are all over the place. You've just had a baby, you're tired, you're sleep deprived, you've got a newborn crying all the time. So you do women it common is the wrong word, but it's very common where there's a lack of interest to do things. You find that you'll be crying a lot. But if it gets to a point where it's lasting longer than, let's say, the 6-week mark, and you still find that you're crying a lot and you're really emotional and you're agitated very quickly and you've got a lack of interest to go out to do anything, let your GP know. But essentially, it is a common thing that happens, and a lot of the time it does go away, and you do find that you do end up feeling a lot better afterwards. But if that's not the case, please do see your GP.
Fab. I would like to know more about is it postpartum depression? So can it be prevented at all? Or is it like a natural thing, something that everyone will go through?
I would say it's more of a thing where if you know yourself and your family members and those around you know you well as well. So if they start seeing a change in you, even in the pregnancy, then let your midwife know so that they can then refer you to their enhanced sector. So every maternity has a mental health or how do I say, I'll call it the enhanced section. So those who need a little bit more help socially or mentally, they've all got, every maternity area has that midwife. So if you do find that you are low in mood or you've got issues, you can let your midwife know and then get referred. There's loads of people and loads of support with mental health, especially because we are very much aware of the fact that it's an issue that needs to be addressed and looked into. But if you notice anything, just let someone know.
Okay.
You can't really, it's not something you can really prevent.
Okay.
I'm going to come to a different question altogether, which is quite a long one, so I'll read it in a minute. But just again, obviously it's unfortunate that our usual type of conversation is really interactive and we like interacting with our users, but unfortunately because we've been hacked today, obviously people are not able to sort of talk because we're not letting people giving them an opportunity. So again, once again, really sorry to our viewers. We'll just need to go back and review, our systems and figure out how this hacking happened so that it won't happen again, because that was, that's really inappropriate, especially when it's on a live channel. So really sorry that you guys can't talk to us interactively, but you can still talk to us through the chat. We're reading on YouTube, we're on Facebook, and we're also in the chats on Zoom. So if you're here and you've got any questions, if you don't want to ask it publicly, you can just direct message any of us and we will try our best to answer it. So as I've said, I'm going to read this really long question now, okay? And thanks for bringing this in. This is a really important question. So Lois, try your best to answer this.
I'll try.
But basically, it's saying that if you've had a baby and basically not still after like a year, still not able to have sex with their partner, would you say that's part of depression, or is that hormones playing up? Or again, how long should you wait before you're actually able to go back to your normal sex life? Basically is what the question is based around. I've just summarized it all, but it was really long, so I didn't want to read it all.
I think with that, it depends on the type of delivery that you've had. Is she saying in terms of like her sex drive, or is she talking because the vaginal area is still
It's sex drive. So I think saying
sex
that,
drive.
even if the hormonal imbalances, thinking that obviously she says hadn't had sex because obviously was pregnant for 9 months, was not in the mood. Then after giving birth, felt like was still not in the mood, but that was because of just giving birth. But now, like a year later, still not able to be in the mood. Should I worry about this? Should I see somebody about this? That kind of...
I think she might. Is that well? I would say if she feels that she would really want to be in the mood, but she just isn't, then it might be worth. Okay, if you agree, it might be worth going to see her GP for. Would you agree?
Well, that's what I know that the limit is I was usually 12 months, so about a year. So again, I guess is it would you wait plus or minus maybe 2 months? Would you wait a little bit, or would you go straight to again, this is what I'm not really sure. That's what maybe I was thinking.
For me, I would say no. I would say it's worth her going to see her GP for. If it's been a year and she's still not wanting to engage in intercourse, then yeah, I think it's definitely worth her seeing her GP for.
Okay, and what's the GP going to do for her? I'm asking you this.
You're asking me, please. What would you do for her, please?
Don't ask me.
What would you do?
I mean, you are the GP, so what would you do for a situation like this?
I'm trying to put myself in the situation. Okay, what would I do if somebody came to see me with this? I'd probably run some tests, run some FSH. So basically just a normal like female hormones to see where the hormones were at. That's probably what I'll start with. And then after we find out if the hormones were low, then we're going to find out why they're low. So is it that you're having thyroid problems, or is it that, they're just, and it could be anything really. I suppose it could even be to do with depression or like mental health, if you're still a bit, it's just a lot of things. But yeah, definitely first we'll do blood tests, and then I'll wait to see the blood tests come back, and then I'll take it from there. It's difficult to say because what do you do when somebody's not in the mood? It's like,
well, I guess there's a number of reasons why she might not be in the mood. Maybe she's not feeling sexy anymore. She's not feeling her body anymore. Her body's changed. So
it doesn't sound like it from the message. It really seems like she really wants to be like, but it's just not happening. It's like, but maybe she's also thinking about it too much. Because that, when you're overthinking and you're just not, I don't know. It's difficult.
Average, how long does it take for your hormones to settle after pregnancy anyway? That might be the course.
I would say anything from 6 to 12 months. I think 12 is usually the maximum. That's what I usually give it. I know by 6 months, most people would have been back to start. Am I right in saying this? Yeah. So, 12 months is a bit of a stretch, but there are people who go, is it almost like saying, when do babies start to walk? It can be anything from 7 months to, 18 months, but it's after 18 months that you need to start worrying about babies not walking. So there's always a range. There's not like a specific
insane, yeah.
Okay. Well, I was going to ask my question. I have 2 questions to ask, but we have got Dr. Shirley here with us now. So Dr. Shirley, if you would introduce yourself.
I don't know if she can mute herself. Maybe she'll need help with that. Yeah, there she is.
Hey, hi guys. I'm sorry I'm late.
Doctor, we get it.
So I hope everyone's doing well.
We good. We're just talking about obviously maternity. So we just
you're just in time for 2 of the questions that I have. And perhaps you may be able to answer them. So
wait, let her introduce herself, like what she's doing, where she's at, how many kids she's got.
So my name is Shirley Nwokiki. I am going into psychiatry, and I'm in the USA, Atlanta, Georgia. So nice to meet everybody.
Nice to meet you, Sister Shirley, and thank you for taking the time out of your busy day. As we can see, you're still like
sorry I'm late.
Working. Yeah. You're still working and you still took the time to join us. I really appreciate it. So we've got 2 questions here, like I was saying before. So what are the signs of premature labor?
Okay. Lois, you want to take this or do you want me to answer?
I can. Do you want me to start, and then if anything you can add?
Okay. Sure.
So if your waters go early on, that can be a sign, and you start contracting. There's a difference between like Braxton Hicks, as you know, and like labor contractions. But if you feel any one of those, then yeah, we would say come in, just so that we can keep an eye. What else would you add to that, Shirley, apart from your waters going and contracting?
Yeah, so I think it's also important to like keep in mind the time frame as well. So premature labor would be, you know, anything before 37 weeks. So just like contractions, and like if you were to come into the doctors, they would check you if you were like dilated as well. I think that would be another sign of labor. But it's just really anything before 37 weeks is what we would consider premature labor. But yes, Lois, you covered it all.
Yeah, pretty much.
And what would you say would be some of the things to avoid during pregnancy?
In terms to not have preterm labor, or
no, not to obviously labor is the end goal, but like to maybe avoid what we're talking about, like just a healthy childbirth, maybe to avoid the mortality, sex.
Well, actually,
I know. Apparently not, actually. You'd always think that it would. Anyway, so I'll leave you to answer it.
Shirley, do you want to take it? Do you want to take this one?
Yeah, sure. So, I mean, there are a lot of things that like people say, you know, you should avoid. I'm gonna start with like just the basics from the beginning. So you want to be healthy. You want to take your prenatals. That's very important. You want to
in UK language, antenatals.
Oh, sorry, antenatals. My bad. You want to take your antenatals. You want to avoid things like alcohol. If you have like any prescription drugs that you're on, so for example, like any retinols, you want to avoid that. Always run like all the medications that you're taking, run it through with your OBGYN. You want to avoid certain fish. So there are like certain types of fish that are like high in mercury. You want to avoid them, like swordfish, shark meat.
Yeah.
And you also want to limit your fish intake as well. So maybe like about 2 servings per week. Those are like some of the basic things. And of course, you know, smoking is not recommended either. That can cause like low birth weight and, you know, other things like clotting. So you don't want to smoke. I think those are like the basic things. Honestly, you can eat. There really isn't like a restriction.
Okay,
have we lost that? Oh,
yeah, I think she'll come back. But Lois, I wanted to. Was there not something about cranberry juice?
Oh, I haven't heard that one.
Avoiding cranberry juice for pregnancy.
Yeah, I think something about avoiding it up until your third trimester, and then taking it because then it helps induce labor. So, for example,
no, that's the raspberry. That's the raspberry leaf.
Okay.
Yeah, no. Yeah, don't take raspberry leaf.
Cranberry
I
juice.
remember we had this conversation. Yeah, we had this conversation when I was pregnant. I remember saying something, and I was like, "Girl, I ain't stopping nothing."
So, right, cranberry juice is good for everyone.
Cranberry, please drink your cranberry. No, that's fine. It's the raspberry leaf. Don't have that.
Fine.
I think I can hear my mom in the background saying, "Eat okra, eat okra."
I've heard that one, you know. I've heard people say that.
But does it give you some kind of slippery labor as well?
I honestly don't know, but no, I've heard that one. Oh,
Yeah.
and dates is another one that I've heard that can help with labor as well.
Okay.
Okay,
I think we'll take our last question from YouTube. Shirley's coming back in, so but should we take our last question because it's 9:00? So
yeah, I was just about to say got a question here, which was this from a person which says, so my prenatals make me sick. Can I not take it and just substitute with healthy food instead?
I would say, I know the tablets are huge, and yeah, they do make you. Some people do feel sick with them, but there's alternatives. So you can get it in liquid form. So if you find that the tablets are just not doing it for you, let your pharmacy know, or let your midwife know, and they can maybe get you the liquid version of it. That's an option. But it is important to take them. Definitely important to take them, but yeah, try as much as you can to try and take your prenatals.
Yeah,
I think we'll have like gummy versions and like.
Yeah, there are different versions. There are the gummy versions. There's loads of different versions. There's the liquid version as well. There's the chewy.
So nice.
I'm a gummy girl. I would have it in gummy form.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, please, somebody unmute Shirley. Because she can't talk.
Sorry.
But I think we're just gonna wrap up now. So I'm gonna start with Lois, and then I'm gonna go to Shirley. So obviously, with Shirley, your question would be from a mother's. The whole thing is being a doctor and a mother. Obviously, you have 2 kids, and you know Shirley's a superwoman. Let me just put this out there because I just want to say this because she has 2 kids. Her recent one is not even, how old is he? He's 1 month or maybe 2 months. But she gave birth and went back to do her USMLE, literally wrote the exam that was going to make her life within a week. And straight back at work. So I just want to clap for you because I think you're amazing and you're an inspiration to me.
Thank you.
So well done to you. But obviously, having said that, being a doctor and a mother, what are the things that you wish you knew? Not that you wish you knew, or you wish you'd done differently, or what advice would you give to people? Because being doctors, people think that we know everything, but I was shocked at some of my antenatals, and there are things I didn't know. So you hold on to that, you think about that, but then we'll let Lois also wrap up on in terms of obviously everything you've talked to us about today, coming from a Ghanaian community, West African community. You see a lot of Ghanaian women, especially where you are based in North London. What advice would you give our Ghanaian sisters? Just kind of in summary.
Don't be so laid back with everything. Honestly, if you have a concern, if there's anything that's worrying you, just come in. There, like she said, North London, there are loads of your own people, loads of people you can talk to them. If you're not well, if you're not feeling baby, if your blood pressure is high, whatever the issue may be, if you're low in mood, please talk to someone and come in. Definitely, that's what I would say. Don't be so nonchalant about things.
Yeah, no, thank you. I think that's important. Yeah, Shirley?
Yeah, Lois, that's very important. And just to piggyback off what you said, I think like that's something that I'm guilty of. So as a doctor and a mom who was pregnant, I feel like there's this pressure to like know exactly whatever is going on with you. And I noticed like when I would go for my appointments, I would be like very cautious to ask certain questions because, you know, they're like, oh, you should know this, or so, but you know, I'm not an OBGYN. So I think that it's just important to like take ownership of your health as a doctor, as a mom, or just anyone in general. Take ownership. No question is stupid. No concern is stupid. When you do go see the doctor, you always want to tell them everything. Don't withhold information. Every information is vital. And also just like do your own part to stay healthy, mentally, physically, emotionally is so important. All these things affect baby. And drink lots of water. Drink lots of water too. That's a big one. I think like when you're so busy during the day, for me, like I used to always just like forget to drink water. It's so important. You need it because that's how baby gets rid of their waste product. And that's also how nutrition flows. So you need lots and lots of water. Even though you have to use the bathroom a million times, it's fine. So yeah.
Yeah, and just last one from me. I think the most important thing I would say is play with baby. I played with baby so much, and he's so playful right now. And sometimes I wonder if it's my fault. But literally, if he kicks, I kick back. Like like and just poking my belly.
Yeah.
I used to send you guys.
Remember that. Yeah.
We have a girls' chat, and I used to send them videos, and I used to just poke my belly for no reason, and they used to be like, "Oh, leave him alone."
Leave him alone.
No, play with them. Because it's just nice to build a bond. But that's it from I think thank you girls so much for coming to make my birthday special really special. It was really nice having my girls on, and like Abena was saying, obviously we all hustled from being 11 years old back in Whitefield, and now we're all here as professionals, doing a professional talk. So I'm still trying to think about how true this is, but it's 30 girls is real. We're all old now.
Happy birthday.
Thank you. But
I'm a bit lost with everything, but just to piggyback on what Akos just said, I would like to thank Lois and Shirley for making the time to come and talk to us about childbirth, health in childbirth. And just before we lock off, I just want to remind you that tomorrow we've got a time with TAPTAP Send at 8:00 UK time. And then we've got Ask the Lawyer on Fridays. Every Thursday we've got time with TAPTAP Send, and then at 8:00 same time, and then every Friday we've got Ask the Lawyer, and we are here every Wednesday for Health Talk, and next week we will be here same time. Thank you everyone. We'd like to thank all our faithful watchers or faithful joiners, everyone who's joined us from the beginning. I'd like to thank you guys and ask you to continue to support us, and we really value your support and appreciate it so much. Have a wonderful night, everybody, and once again, happy birthday, Dr. Akos.
Happy birthday.
Go and cut your birthday cake now. Have a wonderful time. Have a wonderful evening, everybody, and we'll see you next week. Thank you.
Yeah, bye-bye. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Before we go, let's use this time to say happy birthday to Dr. Akos. Let's wish Dr. Akos happy birthday in the chat room. Whatever message that you've got for Dr. Akos, this is her time. Let's celebrate her. She's been here all the time, giving us tips and help, advice. And this is the time that we can also use to celebrate her. So a very big happy birthday to Dr. Akos. Big happy birthday, big happy birthday. From the OT media team, we want to say we appreciate you, we love you, thank you for everything that you've been doing for us and our audience. We really appreciate you. So, happy birthday. Producer, you want one more happy birthday for Dr. Akos.
Said, oh, I was my baby, you're from Calabos, the only boss. With oneness, baby, I will be everywhere a day and everywhere they go. TAPTAP Send got me covered. If you need to send money or transfer money from Europe, from Canada, from USA, from UK, any part in Europe, you can send it through TAPTAP Send, and guess what? Oceania, they will receive it right here in Ghana and many countries across Africa. So what are you waiting for? Download TAPTAP Send now on Google Play Store or App Store. When you download, it's so easy to use. Tell your families, tell your loved ones to download TAPTAP Send. Okay? Boss, When I receive my money, the other time the one with the channel, no, like my view, no, hey, you crazy.
Download TAPTAP Send now on Google Play and App Store. TAPTAP Send. It's secure, convenient, easy, and fast.
Hello, this is Lawyer Wisdom of Wismart Solicitors. Join me this and every Friday on OT TV from 8 to 9 p.m. for all your UK immigration matters. I hope to see you there. Thank you.